My name is Stephen Markowitz, and I'm moderating this session. This session is called Medical Advancements, Diagnosing and Treating Mesothelioma and Asbestos-Related Diseases. Actually, it's a little broader than that. We're also going to be talking to some extent about prevention, both primary prevention, that is to say, reducing or eliminating exposure, and also secondary prevention, early detection of disease. We have excellent speakers, as we have had actually throughout the conference. Our first speaker, or actually the set of speakers, is Laura and Bob Kuzmick. They are social service professionals in southeastern Pennsylvania. They work with delinquent youth and families, and they live in Ambler, Pennsylvania. We saw Ambler briefly in the first movie yesterday, and they're going to talk about their work to promote the reduction, elimination of exposure to asbestos in Ambler. So welcome, Laura and Bob.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Dr. Markowitz. Thank you, Linda. Thank you to the ADAO community. It's really an honor to be here, and really an honor to be on a panel with such esteemed medical professionals. So really, thank you. Thank you all so much. Our story, which we've shared before, it began in 2002. We purchased a home that was built in 1960. It was part of that suburban housing boom that started in the 50s, and developments and tracts of homes. And it was an older home. It had not been maintained. We got it at a bargain rate. It was in a good school district, in a good neighborhood. And Bob had lots of vision, and he got himself through college working construction. So he said, we can do this ourselves. And so we did. We were young, we were enthusiastic, but we didn't know what was in our house. And I was just a second pair of hands. Hold this ladder still, hand me some nails. But then we got into, let's rip out this sheetrock. Let's sand this black stuff off the floor that was holding the carpet down. Let's just start going to town. And one of the biggest things that we did, we had a large family room, about 380 square feet, with those brown, ugly tiles that we all know about. And my job as the unskilled laborer was to take a chisel and a hammer and break up that tile floor so that we could get to the subfloor underneath, which was cement. Some of those tiles popped right off with one whack of the hammer on the chisel, and some of them were a little more stubborn and took a lot more breaking up. And sometimes there would be a little piece of tile so stuck onto the cement, the only way I could get it off was to smash it with a hammer into powder and disintegrate it. I was very careful to wear protective eyewear, and I wore earplugs because the hammering was so loud, and I never gave a thought to what I was breathing in and what was going all over our house. And we were weekend warriors. We both worked full-time outside the home. So our house was under construction. We had sawhorses up, and it was years. And our daughter was 11 years old, and her friends were in our house, and our family members and guests were in our house. And we didn't know that anything was wrong with what we had done until a few years later, chatting with our neighbor who has the same floor plan as us. And he said, well, you know that was asbestos on that floor you ripped up. And we said, no, we didn't know that. We didn't know that. And then we began to think, where else was there asbestos in our home? And we had to kind of go back and retrace our steps and figure out, what do we still have left? What can we get tested? We did get some samples tested. We had the cement shingle siding tested. We had the additional tiles that we hadn't disturbed. We were able to safely remove. It all had asbestos in it. So then came, the guilt and the worry and the fear, the shame of not knowing what we did. And, Bob reached out to the medical community. He's going to talk about that. He also reached out to Linda. He pretty much cold called Linda and said, hey, can I come to your conference? Because I need some answers. Once we started to get answers and information, we knew that we couldn't go back and undo what we did, but we knew that we could go forward And our journey became one of advocacy. And I'm so pleased to have heard so many speakers during this conference talk about advocacy, because it's so important. We live in Ambler, but that's not why we were affected by asbestos. We were affected by asbestos because we are homeowners. We could have been anywhere. We could be anyone. We are everyone. We are everyone who lives in a home. So we want the message out there. And that's our function, and that's our role here. And we're so pleased to be a part of this community and this family. So, Bob, take it away. So,
yeah, needless to say, we had a lot of concerns and questions. And like Laura said, I cold called Linda, and she answered like in the second ring, which I wasn't expecting. And she invited me to the conference, and I believe that year was 2015. When I got there, I met Marilyn Amento, who was featured in the Dirty Laundry video, and found out she was from Ambler, and that's met some more people from Ambler. And that kind of led us on this journey to advocacy and prevention and community outreach with ADAO. I met Linda personally through, Marilyn, and we got to speaking. So since then, yes, Laura and I have done a lot of advocacy outreach and prevention on behalf of ADAO, and we're very proud to do that. Some of the things we do is, assist with ADAO when they're contacting U.S. senators through phone or correspondence. Most of the stuff we do is grassroots in Ambler, which I really enjoy. We really enjoy. I know Linda had put on a conference there in Ambler, not a conference, an information thing. It was called Be Smart, Be Safe. It was hosted by Linda, and Brent Kynock was there. And for stuff like that, we go door to door to shops, putting up flyers, invitations, letting them know the time, place, and if anyone's interested, to please show up, and there'll be more information available. Every year in October, coming up, sans this year due to COVID, there's an Oktoberfest in Ambler, and I know 2 years ago we had a tent, and Tony Rich was there with his mother in Ambler. Marilyn was there, and again, provide flyers, information, pamphlets to the local community. And one of the the pamphlets that was most taken off our stand, I remember, Linda, was the one of the home where asbestos could be found inside and outside of the home. So I was glad to see a lot of people were taking that pamphlet away, because that was very important. And also just speaking with people, you make connections, and we lead them to ADAO's website for more professional and detailed information regarding asbestos, especially in the home. So one of the final things I do is I have blood drawn every year at Fox Chase Cancer Research Center it's inside Philadelphia, outside Ambler. And it's obviously I'm not a medical professional, but they call it a mesomark assay, and they're just drawing my blood every June, and they're trying
Recording stopped.
For mesothelioma, is from what I understand it. So that's one of the final things I do. So we do a lot of advocacy and outreach, and speak about prevention in many ways. Be walking down the road with my dog and meet a neighbor who just moved in, and we'll be talking, and they start talking about wanting to renovate their home, and there's another opportunity where I just let them know what I know and what I've done. And I don't want to scare them, but the warning signs. And again, I lead them to the website from ADAO for more professional, detailed information. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Laura, both of us. And it's all about advocacy, outreach, and prevention. And we'll do what we can to make it happen. So thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Laura and Bob. And I really think you are not so much mesothelioma warriors, but asbestos cancer prevention warriors, because this this is just a crucial activity going forward for increased knowledge and action.